So one thing that's happening right now is SpaceX is weighing a June 2026 IPO. So in just a few months, we could potentially see one of the biggest IPOs, if not the largest IPO in history. This literally could be a $1.5 trillion valuation if you look at what they're saying here at Reuters.com. And that would be the largest IPO in history. They're aiming to raise as much as $50 billion, again, at a valuation of roughly $1.5 trillion. So some things to keep in mind here. Obviously, SpaceX has been private from the beginning, but they have major government contracts. They have by far the best satellite internet service with Starlink, which has gotten deals with T-Mobile, for instance, and is giving access to internet in places that didn't have it before, all around the world in remote locations. And also, it would put them as the same league as mega cap stocks like Amazon or Alphabet on day one. Speaking of Alphabet, by the way, if you look at Alphabet, so if you looked at the top comment here, you may have noticed a lot of these comments, of course, you got to be careful with, but they said, oh, remember Alphabet owns 7.5% of SpaceX. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't BS, of course. And it says, no, basically they have a minority stake of around 7 to 10% because they've been a significant investor. So Alphabet stock, which has already been going through the roof over the past year, is about to possibly go bonkers because now you have Waymo growing. So they have probably the top robo-taxi service out there that's growing and getting more cities to allow them to give ride sharing. They also have probably the best AI. They have the stranglehold on all of basically any sort of search online. They have more data on you than just about anybody. They are basically a co-monopoly on with Microsoft Office on basically spreadsheets and PowerPoints and Word and all these different office tools. Like Google is dominating, and now they could get a piece of this major IPO from SpaceX on top of that. This could also lead to a expansion of Starlink, which now has a little bit of competition potentially in the future from Blue Origin, which is part of Jeff Bezos's his space project here. And obviously, I think that's still technically separate from Amazon, but they want to compete with Starlink, with Blue Origin. But if they go public, they could actually expand Starlink and make it better than ever. And I think they would just immediately be by far the best space-related stock out there. And of course, they could be providing internet to millions, maybe even billions of people very soon. Now, this hasn't actually been filed with the SEC yet. We know how Elon Musk is about promises and big ideas and his vision for the future and how much that actually changes. And there is some evidence that their cash flow is modest compared to what they would actually need to justify that $1.5 trillion valuation. Again, they have Starlink, they have government contracts. They're pretty much the top dog in basically U.S. space-related activities, but they may not be making enough to really justify that. That's all kind of potential. There's also a lot of just market volatility and economic uncertainty in the U.S. right now, which may lead to people not being sure if they want to invest in a kind of a moonshot IPO like that right now. I think it's one of those things where you know a lot of people are going to want to invest in it. For whatever reason, Tesla keeps having these jumps in their stock despite not really being very impressive with their earnings and having to discontinue models and things like that, and always being like, well, okay, well, we're an electric car company. Oh, well, now we're going to be a robot company. You know, they're just kind of like changing their deadlines, changing what they're offering, and changing the technology they're specializing in. So Elon Musk being in charge creates almost a sort of risk of like, do we really believe this is going to happen? Do we really believe that they're going to justify these huge, hypothetical valuations? But I pretty much can guarantee that a bunch of people will invest in SpaceX if they go public. They'll probably have a huge stock rise. They'll start pretty expensive. And then there could be a lot of volatility depending on how that goes, for the next few years. That's one of those I would probably want to wait and see on, because I just don't know how far SpaceX is going to go. Starlink is a solid product from what I understand, but their space program, what have they accomplished that much so far other than reusable rockets? How is that going to make them money? We don't really know yet how space is going to make them money yet, other than Starlink.